What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and Shannon's on vacation. So if you're looking at the audio, you were like, "That's not Shannon. Who is that?" So I have the honor to bring on a special co-host for the next 2 weeks because Shannon is on vacation with his family. So I want to introduce everybody to Chris Abacon. So Chris, me and him were actually stationed together at what's called the Joint Communication Support Element, so JCSE Airborne Unit, where we're tactical, enterprise, soft communications, like the full gamut, right? One-man army, so to speak. Chris hails from the Navy, and he is now in the consulting role. But I don't want to take everything from Chris. I want Chris to say hello real quick, and then we could jump into the topic.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be on the show here. Glad to be on the podcast, and one of the first listeners, right? So it's great to be part of the field and the in the arena of cybersecurity. So, I mean, being able to provide my insight with military experience, it's just an honor to be here. So really appreciate you, Ryan, for inviting me along with this ride.
Oh, no worries. I appreciate you jumping on short notice. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me get Chris on.
Yeah, for sure.
Like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So almost no notice. But without further ado, we'll jump into the topic real quick. So today's topic is the new SEC rule requires public companies to disclose cybersecurity breaches in 4 days. So when I thought about Chris and I thought about what the current news was, I was like, oh man, this is right up his alley. So this should be our first topic. So without further ado, I give it to Chris.
Yeah. So if you've been on LinkedIn this past week, the SEC filing with the rule requiring companies to disclose cybersecurity incidents or breaches in 4 days, it's all over the LinkedIn and it's all over the professional news. So what does that mean for many companies, right? Or really anybody within the banking industry, securities industry? That means that any incident, material, or related to cybersecurity that has been identified and codified by specific organizations, they have to be disclosed to the SEC because it may impact financial health of the shareholders, investors, and whatnot. So this came about more likely because of the recent news and all the headlines about breaches, and really to have some type of transparency, so customers and the United States citizens could have faith in our financial institutions and our reporting mechanisms. Additionally, in addition to the 4-day disclosure rule, it also requires these companies to maintain and document their processes, procedures, and really getting them into the weeds of the business aspect of cybersecurity, the policies, procedures, the rules, the yearly checks, so on and so forth. So it really brings to light some of the really important aspects that we have to, as Americans, be cognizant of, right? So there's a lot of advanced persistent threats out there, right? Those being nation state actors trying to compromise financial systems, right? Any bad news that can be generated by the media, right? The other countries trying to get a leg up on the United States, they're going to revel in that, right? So some nuances though with this, right? So yeah, 4 days might be a very short period of time. So they did have an extension of delay up to 60 days under extraordinary circumstances. And then one thing of note as well from this AP article is that the vote was a 3-2, which is along party lines, right? So you've got people from different sides of the political spectrum voting, right, differently. And then additionally, one last thing is the debate there's a little bit of debate on how the filing, is this a political filing? Is this just companies trying to shift corporate strategy? I mean, there's really many ways to look at this, but at the end of the day, I believe this is definite positive for the American people, because the more transparency we have with these big companies, right, the better it is for just society and American people as a whole.
Yeah, I do agree. And I know Shannon was here, he would say it's all about that public trust.
Oh yeah.
Once you lose that, I mean, it's all downhill from there. So this can only help, both from the visibility standpoint, right? Because let's say it's not 4 days, let's say it's a week or 2 weeks. Recently, it's been months. So like they brought up the Move It file transfer program, so a third party app we've talked about a little bit on the show the past couple of weeks when it came to the government using it a lot within their framework to move files around, as well as now you're starting to see lawsuits pop up. Like you have Johns Hopkins in the midst of a potential class action lawsuit because they didn't, at least from the client's perspective, they were not warned for 90 days or more. So they didn't have time to protect themselves from would-be bad actors out there stealing their personal information, opening up accounts in their name, buying boats. It's what I always say. Like, you never know somebody stole your identity until you find out that you have a yacht. Like, where this
Right.
I have a what? So just to make a little bit a light out of the situation, but again, I think it can only bode well for, like you said, the American public. So now they can have a little bit more faith in the system. It is kind of weird the way that the vote came down. Like I like to tell Shannon, I don't think I no longer think it's about red and blue. I think it's about green.
Yeah.
So it's
100%.
about who is your actual constituent. That's how you can tell. Like, is it the people? Because then it should be a non-factor, or do you have to uh pony up to the people who pay for your campaign? So I didn't look in to see who filed which way. I kind of try to stay out of the political arena as much as possible. I know 2024 is right around the corner, and I just want to tune out, but I know I can't because I have to vote. It's my civic duty to vote. But it's like,
Indeed.
man, every 4 years, it's a nightmare. But no, it's good to see that this passed. It's good to see that the future is looking bright. And I'm glad that I had you on the show this week to talk about it. It's kind of serendipitous because you do have a little bit of material out there. So hopefully you're promoting it on your LinkedIn, right? I know the company put you out there, put your name on it,
Oh
and
yeah.
then I reshared it
Yeah.
as well, right? So
That's
it's good to
awesome.
have your opinion within this arena, and then definitely tune in throughout the rest of the week where we'll have Chris also go into a little bit more about the upcoming topics for Tuesday's this Tuesday's topic, Wednesday's discussion. I'm stammering on myself now, and then Friday's everything else. So definitely tune in for that, where we dive a little bit deeper into Chris's cybersecurity origin story. He didn't know that was going to happen. I didn't warn him. As well as we'll talk about everything else, right? Right, that's
Sure.
non-cyber related, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. And then this Thursday, I do have an Ask Us SP that will be published. I believe it's with Darren King Jr. Don't quote me on that. I'll let you know on tomorrow's episode because I did not prepare to tell you about that. But the next 2 weeks, I definitely do have an Ask Us SP queued up as well. So you'll get 5 episodes out of us for the next 2 weeks, and then Shannon will be back. So, but we'll definitely have Chris in our back pocket to bring him on whenever possible, because now he's also in my time zone, so that's also cool to have that ability to get him in here. So definitely leave us all your feedback. Tune into all of the social medias that go by our name. You can hit me up personally. I'm at RY Security Guy. That's RY Security Guy. I'm on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Kind of like, I think Threads is already they don't know.
Yeah, I think I saw, what is it, like 40% loss, and I didn't see it, but yeah,
Yeah,
there's the hype was there, right? Everybody installed it, so there's that initial high of, oh, everybody's got Threads, right? But
yeah.
apparently you can't uninstall Threads without uninstalling Instagram, right? So
Yes. Yep.
that's
It's got
another
you.
source of soreness there.
You'll have an account whether you want to or not forever,
Yeah.
as long as you have an IG account. But where can they
Right.
find you, Chris, if somebody was trying to contact you?
You can go find me on my LinkedIn. Just Chris Abacon is my handle, or yeah, definitely you can find me on LinkedIn. That's my main source.
There it is. And we'll have all your links in the description of the episode as well. But definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. Stay safe, stay secure.